The pawn shop. When you hear what Rick Harrison allegedly confessed from his hospital bed, you might never seekers. If this is your first time here, you've picked an intense day to join us. But this one has left me speechless. For over a decade, shop in Las Vegas, Rick became famous for his vast knowledge of historic skills. The show turned him from a local businessman into a global celebrity. Fans at his shop. We welcomed Rick into our homes. We trusted him. We watched darker secrets. Was the pawn shop hiding something much more sinister than rare coins and historical artifacts? According to several sources, Rick Harrison was rushed to a hospital in Las Vegas 3 nights ago due to a medical emergency. His condition was serious enough that family members were called to his bedside. But what happened next shocked everyone. In a moment described as emotional and disturbing, Rick allegedly began confessing to those around him, including medical staff and reportedly a priest who had been called to the room. These weren't the usual regrets of someone facing their end. These were detailed confessions about a horrible criminal activity. Rick allegedly confessed that his pawn shop, the very one millions of people have seen on TV, was being used as a front for human trafficking. Yes, you heard that right. Human trafficking. Rick reportedly described a hidden basement area in the shop where victims were kept temporarily. He allegedly explained a complex operation that had been running for years, involving wealthy clients willing to pay a lot of money for people. These victims, according to the confession, were taken from different parts of the country, hidden away, and sold for unimaginable amounts of money. But that's not all. Rick allegedly named names. Big names. He even mentioned well-known actor Tom Hanks, a claim so outrageous it's hard to believe. It's important to point out that there is no evidence supporting this accusation against Tom Hanks. He has always been known for his good reputation, and there's no reason to believe this claim. But Rick's confession didn't stop there. He allegedly admitted to buying a woman for just $100, treating her as if she were an object to be sold. This part of the confession has horrified those who've heard about it. It's difficult to imagine the level of cruelty involved in such actions. Rick's confession also reportedly included details about an even darker side of his involvement. He claimed to have been involved in murders and other criminal activities to keep his operation a secret. The priest who was present during these confessions said Rick seemed genuinely scared, not only of facing legal consequences, but also of being targeted by powerful people behind the scenes. Rick allegedly described how these powerful figures controlled him, making him just a small part of a much larger network. It's possible Rick wasn't the mastermind, but instead just one piece in a bigger criminal operation. Within hours of these confessions, law enforcement began looking into the case. Federal authorities are reportedly getting involved, given the seriousness of the claims and the possibility that the trafficking operation may have crossed state or even national borders. Investigators are reportedly focusing on the pawn shop, especially the basement area that Rick mentioned. The gold and silver pawn shop has been temporarily closed while authorities carry out search warrants and investigate what may have really been happening behind the scenes. The History Channel, the network behind Pawn Stars, released a short statement saying they are aware of the reported allegations and are monitoring the situation closely. Production on the show has been paused indefinitely. The reaction from the public has been intense. Social media has exploded with theories, debates, and shock from fans who followed Rick's career. Some fans refuse to believe the allegations, pointing to his public persona and charity work as proof that he couldn't have been involved in something so terrible. Others are questioning if the medical emergency caused Rick to experience delusions or hallucinations that led him to make false statements. But there's another group of people who believe these allegations might be true. They see it as proof of long-standing conspiracy theories about trafficking rings among the rich and powerful. This has led to dangerous online discussions, with people pointing fingers at celebrities and public figures with no evidence. Experts in criminal psychology say that hospital confessions can be complicated. Medical trauma can sometimes lead people to make statements that aren't grounded in reality. However, if the confession contains specific details, it can still be worth investigating, especially when the crime in question is as serious as human trafficking. Rick's family has denied the accusations. His son Corey, who also stars on Pawn Stars, made a statement saying, "My father experienced a serious medical event that affected his mental state." The statements being attributed to him were made under extreme duress and do not reflect reality. We ask for privacy as our family deals with this difficult time, and as my father gets the medical care he needs. Other family members have backed up this claim, suggesting that medication given to Rick during his treatment may have caused confusion or hallucinations. Whether or not Rick's confessions are true, this story has raised important questions about the reality of human trafficking. Experts estimate that millions of people around the world are victims of trafficking, generating billions of dollars in illegal profits each year. Anti-trafficking organizations have seen an increase in calls and donations since this story broke. If nothing else, these allegations have brought attention to a real problem that is often hidden from the public eye. As we wrap up today's story, we're left with a lot of questions. Is Rick Harrison a criminal who has been hiding his secrets for years? Is he a man caught up in something he couldn't control? Or is he someone who was experiencing a medical crisis and made statements that weren't true? The truth will come out when investigators have had a chance to examine the evidence. Before I finish, I want to speak directly to you, the viewer. In a world where shocking headlines are everywhere, it's easy to get caught up in stories like this. But behind all the drama, there are real issues affecting real people. Human trafficking is not just a plot twist or a conspiracy, it's a serious problem that affects millions of people around the world. Regardless of what happens with Rick Harrison's case, I encourage you to take this story as a chance to learn more about human trafficking and how you can help. Learn the signs, support the right organizations, and most importantly, think critically. Don't believe everything you read or hear. Wait for the evidence, and remember that the truth matters, not just for the accused, but for the victims whose stories are often ignored. This has been The Shocking Truth. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates on this developing story. Until next time, keep seeking the truth. It's out there, even when it's hard to find.